Comedian Bert Kreischer joining us on the hotline. What up, boy?
Not much. Trying to put down some coffee.
I hear you, man. So, so your video, the machine, which is classic and awesome. It's where he tells the story how he became. He's in. I don't want to tell your whole story, but he's in Russia and says he's the machine's like you say. Blah, blah. But my point is that it has almost 85 million views. 85 million views. What is the money like on a video that big?
You know what's so funny? I have no idea. I think because I curse in it, it got demonetized.
No.
Yeah. In order to get monetized on YouTube, you've got to do the we're going to the Grand Hall game. You can't, like, it's kind of sad. And I think because I'm talking about illicit things, like you can't smoke pot on YouTube, you can't do. There's so much. Everything I do on YouTube's demonetized.
Oh man,
that hurts, man. I mean, you're losing out on a huge income stream.
Isn't there another platform that you can do that won't demonetize it?
No. But the trade-off is I represent myself 100%. So people see that video and they buy tickets for the show.
Right.
I mean, that one video, what's crazy is the reason it went viral. The reason it went viral is that the way the algorithm works is when you shared the video, the top comment from my page would show up under the video on your page, right, on Facebook. And the top comment from my page was left by a woman, I think her name's Kristen Hodgson. And her comment read, I was in Bert's Russian class. I was on this trip. This story's 100% true. He robbed us.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's what got us to go viral. And the payout for the viral stuff's like having a hit song. It's like people come out and they want to see you tell the story.
Yeah.
And like last night I did 3 shows in Pensacola. I've never been to Pensacola before, so I tell the story 3 times.
That's so crazy. And what's amazing too is that like you have people shouting out requests for bits. I mean, like I think if they know, and then they recite it along with you, like almost word for word timing, which shows that they've listened or watched that bit 100 times. It's so cool to me to see that.
I don't know. I don't think it's cool. I mean, it's cool.
I think it's very cool because that just shows it's like a song. If you're a singer and they're singing your song along with you,
I guess.
I'll tell you what, it's a mixed bag. I did a show in London, and I didn't realize how big I was in London. And they were murmuring the story along with me. Like they were, and I got to be dead honest with you. I thought it was going to be the coolest thing. It was so distracting that I couldn't stop laughing. And I was like, you guys got to stop. But they wanted to do it. But I'm the one that dictates the timing, right? So their timing's only based on they know the story by memory. And it was distracting. It was a once-in-a-lifetime experience. I would never want it to happen again. But it was cool, but at the same time, it was crazy. But, here's the other thing is that people are always yelling out bits, but I'm getting ready for another Netflix special. So I have another full hour plus of material that I do before I tell that story. And so that's the fun of the stand-up for me is writing new material,
Yeah, for sure.
And how often are you working on new material, or how long does it take to come up with like enough material for a new Netflix special?
The shortest it could be is 18 months. It's got to be 18 months. You've got to be like in the material where you're bored of it and you go on stage, you get drunk and tell it and you mess it up and you hate it and you want to just mash it all up and skinny it up. And that's where I'm at right now is like, I'm like, and you want new stuff. And so you add new stuff and then you become passionate about the new stuff. And then the new stuff becomes better than the old stuff. So about 18 months, but I will have done this special for probably just over 2 years because I was touring what's great about this special is I was touring those drive-in movie theaters during the pandemic. I created a drive-in tour. And so that was like swimming in overalls because you're sitting in a rock quarry telling stories and you learn how to skinny up bits quick when you're next to a highway.
Exactly. The Relapse tour, the Birdie Boy Relapse tour, the tickets are on sale. You can get all the information on where he's going to be on his website, BertBert.com. You can also follow him on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram at Bert Kreischer. Bert is our guest. We'll come back and talk more with him on the way. Hang on. Comedian Bert Kreischer is joining us on the show, and you can follow him and see where he's going to be at on his website, BertBert.com, also at Bert Kreischer. You know, we're talking recently about how everyone walks on eggshells, and it's hard to for comedy to surface without getting somebody getting fired up and sending a letter off, and it gets viral, or all that kind of stuff. But I kind of feel like you don't really care about that. You just kind of do your thing, and I think that's gorgeous and beautiful.
And that's how stand-up works, is people will get outraged on social media, and they'll say certain things, but you put them in a club and you tell the joke that is super inappropriate, and they fall apart laughing, and they cover their faces, and they are embarrassed that they find it funny. Laughter is an impulse you cannot control. You cannot control what you laugh at. Like, look, my wife laughs when people fall down, and I've seen her laugh when people fall down and get seriously injured.
Yeah.
And she is crying laughing. You can't control it. And so and by the way, I got to be dead honest with you. It's what makes stand-up really fun, is to take a chance and say the horrible thing, say the thing that is taboo, and get away with it. And I got to be honest with you, with all the stuff that's going on with whatever the cancel culture thing is, it's made stand-up fun again.
Oh, really? See, I would have thought that for most people would be kind of a barrier to entry. Like they'd be like, man, I can't have fun anymore, because after every show I've got to deal with, protesters or somebody mad about this and that. I mean, dude, we do a radio show, and we do a very I don't want to say tame, but I mean, we understand that the kids are in the car, so we're not going to go and drop a bunch of curse words down into it and that kind of stuff. And we still get complaints every day about something after the show that we said.
Here's my rule, okay? This is my rule for me. I don't want anyone leaving my show feeling less than, right? So I try to make sure that I stay away from certain topics. I want to make sure everyone has a good time. But there are certain common denominators in comedy where you got to take chances, and you got to say the thing that's a little horrible. But as long as we're not making anyone feel like I don't think they're human. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and we always talk about that. We're like, you've got to be able to discern between humor and hate. And I am very sorry. We don't really apologize for anything we've ever said, but I will apologize for you not being able to take a joke.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Listen, and I think also the fun of it is, like, I know my audience. I know there are a lot of bros, a lot of meatheads in there. If I'm going to talk about a subject, I usually take the angle against the mainstream of my audience, because that's the fun angle for me, is to hear them go, oh, that's the fun is going against the grain. The fun's when your dad says, no more jokes in this car. I swear to God, one more joke and I'm pulling this car over. That's when the joke is the funnest. Of course. It's not the first joke or the second joke. It's the time when you go, all right, Dad, 2 cops walk into a bar. He's like, what? I go, they're behind you. Like, that's the fun part,
And he's undoing his belt at that point.
Yeah. So I remember one time my dad came in dead serious, and he had a gallon of milk, and I had a cup, and he was pouring it in my cup. I was in his bed. I was in first grade, and I moved the cup, and he poured milk in his bed, and he goes, what in the hell are you doing? And I just look at him, I go, it's comedy.
And now look at you doing dumb stuff around the world.
It's comedy.
Check him out, BertBert.com or Bert Kreischer on social medias. Man, we'd love to get you in and do a podcast with us sometime as well, man.
I would love that. Let me tell you something, and I just want to pay this compliment. You guys are a huge radio show, and sometimes you go on big radio shows like yours, and you guys don't have to do the work and have a great interview. You sometimes can just phone it in and be like, here, thank you, Bert. I'm glad you had a good time. Go check him out. That's all that you need to do. But this was a fantastic interview, and I genuinely appreciate and acknowledge just you guys putting in the work today to make it that, because Not everyone does that. So
Oh.
thank you so much.
That's sweet.
I don't even know what we did.
I don't
I'm
even-
like, we just got complimented, and I have no
Well,
clue. But
I
thank
appreciate
you,
it.
Bert.
No, it's just a good conversation.
Oh.
Sometimes you go, so tell me, what was it like working with Mark Hamill? And you're like, oh, it was great. So you're the party animal? And you know,
Yeah.
and
Well,
and
for
you guys-
one thing-
it's a fun talk.
Yeah, for one thing, most radio people are awful, just
Oh.
awful, and it's so fake and just phony, and you know, we're just not that way. We're also
Yeah, oh yeah, they look at your bio and they're like, so how's working on the X show? And I go, I did that 22 years ago.
well, I mean, you did tell a joke about you growing up and you're 8 years old with the milk in the bed, so I don't know.
Yeah,
Pot
I
in
don't
the
turn
kettle.
over my material that quick.
Hey man, we love you. Hope you continue to have a great tour. Again, check him out, the Birdie Boy Relapse tour. It's on sale now. Go to bertbertbert.com and at Bert Kreischer. Dude, love to get you in, and thanks for the time, brother.
I'll make sure that happens.
All
I'll
right.
have my people reach out. Thank
All
you
right.
so much.
See you, Bert.
Bye.
If you like that, make sure you check out more videos over here.
Yeah, and then you can subscribe right over there on his belly. Click on his belly. He goes, woohoo!